I'm Corinne, the Program Specialist at 4-H Tidelands Nature Center.
And I'm Greg Kosick, the Interim Program Coordinator here at Camp Jekyll. Today we're going to take you out and explore some of the beaches here on Jekyll Island. We have over 7 miles of beaches on this island, and we're going to show you some of those unique features that make Jekyll Island so special. So come on with us.
Alright, so we've made it out here to Driftwood Beach. Driftwood Beach is one of our most northern beaches on Jekyll Island, and it's really noticeable from all the trees that are out here. So this isn't actually driftwood. It didn't drift up from the ocean and get dropped onto the beach. These trees actually ended up on the beach due to erosion. As the water came up and pulled sand from the beach, they exposed the roots of these trees that were part of the maritime forest, and as their roots were exposed, they ended up eventually just falling over and getting stuck out here on the beach without any decomposers to help break them down. Ends up making a really, really picturesque area and a great spot to come check out and climb on some trees.
Alright, so also up here on the northern end of the island, we have a lot of rocks on the beach. Now, it might look like these were kind of naturally washed up here, but these were actually placed here on purpose. Corinne mentioned that this part of the island is washing away due to erosion. But we've actually tried to slow that process of erosion a little bit to keep and maintain this part of the island intact. And these rocks around me, we like to kind of call them the Johnson Rocks, because actually President Johnson commissioned the Army Corps of Engineers to build this riprap or the seawall to help slow that erosion that's happening on this end of the island. It's one of the favorite places to kind of come and visit here on Jekyll. But what we're going to do now, y'all, is we're going to visit a few other places and take a look at some of the unique beaches around the length of the island. But before we go, if you look off to my shoulder here, you might see a boat in the distance. That is the Golden Ray that unfortunately wrecked back in September of 2019, and it's currently getting worked on. We've provided a link on the screen, and if you want to try and follow that, it'll bring you some more information about what's going on with that process. Alright, y'all, so we are here in the middle of Jekyll Island. If we look up and down the beach, we're going to see a big, broad stretch that's very long. This is kind of that typical ideal beach that people want to come and vacation to. But if we look behind me, the ocean right now is very, very calm. We're here at low tide, so our wave energy is very low. But the reason that happens is because our ocean, where we are here on Jekyll Island, it goes out, but it stays relatively shallow. And as that energy in the ocean moves up toward land, that shallow bed of the ocean actually takes some of that energy out from underneath the wave. So we have low energy. It's nice and calm here on Jekyll Island. Not a whole lot of big waves happening, but that's one reason why we love this area. So next, we're going to go up to the south end of the island and see where all that sand that was at the north end may have gone. So come on with me.
Alright, so we made it down here to the very southern tip of Jekyll Island. Down here looks a lot different than the other beaches we visited. Compared to the northern end, where a lot of that sand is getting pulled or washed away due to erosion, we kind of have the opposite happening here on the southern end of the island. The opposite of that erosion is deposition. A lot of the sand that's being taken from the northern end is ending up dropped down here on the southern end of the island. As it's dropped, it ends up adding on to the amount of land down here, which is called accretion. There's so much sand being deposited here over time that underneath me here, this is actually used to be a 60-foot vessel that wrecked here in 1996. So since then, that entire ship has been buried in the sand. This end of the island is kind of growing over time. It ends up looking a lot different than the rest of our beaches. thanks so much for joining us today on our tour of Jekyll Island's beaches. We went all the way from the north end down to the south end of the island. Keep in mind that all of the sand that we've seen today was once part of the mountains up in northern Georgia. They really have traveled from the mountains to the sea. I'm Corinne. Thanks again. Bye, guys.